you, Senator. Senator Rosen, you are recognized.
Well, thank you, Chair Budd. Ranking Member Baldwin, it's really an important hearing, and I want to thank all the witnesses for being here today. And so I'm going to start with you, Ms. Ung. I'm going to talk a little bit about AI standards and trust. Earlier this year, I led a congressional delegation to CES in Las Vegas with a few senators. I've been leading one almost every year. Senators from this committee, we were able to stop by the Siemens booth, hear how Siemens is innovating on AI, other new tools, and I'm excited you're here to testify today. In your testimony, you outline how using AI in advanced manufacturing has a potential for enormous benefits. However, the financial risk of an inaccurate outcome from an unreliable AI tool, well, is still very high. Therefore, your customers have to have a clear incentive to ensure AI tools that they integrate with their products are trustworthy and reliable. And so what standards of trust and reliability are your customers demanding? Are there best practices or standards that NIST Center for AI Standards and Innovation should consider from the industry?
Absolutely, Senator, and I'm so glad that you got to visit CES. It's always a wonderful event. To answer your question, the most important thing in defining trust is having really strong underlying data that informs the industrial AI application. So what that means is being able to tap into machine-generated operational data on a shop floor, manufacturing systems data, and digital engineering data sets that all come together to be able to support analysis and recommendations and generate insights. So what's interesting is that that's a huge piece of my business today at Siemens, is supporting our customers in delivering what we call the sort of digital authoritative backbone for engineering. Mm-hmm. That serves as the foundation of which all operational capabilities are built on top. Thank you.
Thank you. And you know, I really do believe, and I'm sure you do too, without clear federal standards and guardrails, AI tools that are sold to consumers, small businesses, large businesses, but small businesses in particular, they have less, if any, leverage. They may not be safe and reliable. They could have potential to cause significant harm. So we do have to be sure that we're paying attention. And so I want to talk about small business and AI adoption, because many companies have prioritized AI adoption, trying to find where this tool can improve efficiency, add value to their business, right? How do you grow? However, we need to ensure that the potential benefits, as we're seeing from AI, do not continue to disproportionately benefit only the largest corporations that have the capital and the influence really to adopt safe AI, there's large language models, and all the other things that go along with it. So I'm going to stay with you, Ms. Ung. You have a range of customer sizes, large legacy brands like PepsiCo to very small businesses, startups. What's the biggest challenge you would say that your smaller customers face adopting AI? And what can Congress do as we think about, I'm also on the Small Business and Entrepreneurship Committee, so I want to think about the large businesses and the small. What can Congress do to ensure that the AI adoption gap, it just doesn't widen, leaving our smaller innovators potentially behind?
Absolutely, Senator, and this is an incredibly important question. We think about adoption for small and mid-sized businesses in three ways. It's awareness, ability, and willingness. So awareness is being able to communicate and understand the art of the possible, of truly what are the business outcomes that industrial AI can unlock for that business. Ability is, yes, to your point, sometimes capital, but it's also the aligned incentives with both leadership and, as Ranking Member Baldwin mentioned, the ability to also have the factory floor workers involved in the process. The third piece is willingness, and this is my biggest passion in life, is organizational change management. So making sure that there's an intentional rollout plan to all segments of the workforce to ensure that that adoption happens.
Well, you set me up for, I only have a few seconds for my last question, because your passion is going to lead me to Mr. Moreau to ask this question, AI literacy, right? Because you're enthusiastic about getting it out to everyone. But can we talk about how AI literacy closes that AI adoption gap that we want to happen? So thank you for setting me up for that question.
I would just say that this is where regional ecosystems can be extremely helpful. Regional learning ecosystems, regional technology ecosystems, and as part of that, work to make sure that adoption does include these features. More and more regions are beginning to find their own level on these technology solutions. And I think the federal government has historically had a role in supporting regional economic development. I think we can be more pointed and about that, and maybe making this a central area, because the talent piece are intimately connected to the kind of broad adoption that we're talking about technologically.
Well, thank you. Thank you again for all of your work, for being here. Great hearing. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Senator Rosen. Ranking Member